Thousands of years ago, somewhere in South Asia, there lived a people so advanced that they would put modern man to shame. They had constructed great cities with wide roads and impressive public buildings. Their drainage system was so advanced that it would put our modern sewage systems to shame. They were masters of urban planning, creating grids of streets and buildings that remain unmatched even today. But then suddenly, without warning, they vanished, leaving behind only their ruins and countless unanswered questions. This is the story of one of the greatest mysteries of human history, the vanishing of the Indus Valley. The Indus Valley civilization was one of the world's first great civilizations, flourishing in what is now Pakistan and northwest India. Between 2800 and 1900 BCE, it was home to some of the most advanced cities in the ancient world, including Harappa and Mohenjo-Daro, which boasted impressive feats of engineering and urban planning. The Indus Valley people were skilled astronomers who kept meticulous records of celestial events. They developed a writing system, although it remains undeciphered. And their economy was robust, with trade networks extending as far away as Mesopotamia. Yet, despite their many accomplishments, the Indus Valley civilization vanished without a trace, leaving behind only its ruins and a legacy of unanswered questions. One of the most intriguing aspects of the Indus Valley civilization is the fact that we do to know much about it at all. Unlike other ancient civilizations such as the Egyptians or the Greeks, the Indus Valley people left behind no written records or monumental works of art that could provide insights into their culture and way of life. Most of what we know about them comes from the archaeological record, which is admittedly quite rich. But because we can't read their writing system, we can't be sure what any of it means. All we really know about them is that they were highly skilled engineers and urban planners, who built some of the most impressive cities in the ancient world. Their cities were laid out in grids of straight streets and right angles, with houses and public buildings arranged in a regular pattern. The streets were often lined with trees, and the houses had courtyards and bathrooms with running water. The city of Mohenjo-Daro, for example, had a sophisticated system of drains and sewers that would put our modern sewage systems to shame. It also had a central bathhouse, which may have been used for bathing rituals or public health purposes. The city was also home to a number of granaries, which suggests that the Indus Valley people kept a large store of grain in case of famine. They also built impressive structures for their time, including the Great Bath, a massive pool that may have been used for religious ceremonies, and the priest-king's palace, a large complex of rooms that may have been used for administrative purposes. Despite their impressive cities and advanced technology, however, the Indus Valley people seem to have left behind no monumental works of art or architecture. There are no great pyramids or temples or statues to speak of, and this is where things start to get really weird. You see, when an ancient civilization does leave behind monumental works of art, it's usually pretty easy to figure out what their religion was like. Just look at the Egyptians or the Greeks or the Romans. But the Indus Valley people left behind no obvious religious symbols or iconography. Again, we can't even read their writing system, so we don't know what their religion was or even if they had one. All we really know is that they built impressive cities and then they vanished. And that's not the only thing that makes this mystery so strange. You see, the Indus Valley civilization didn't just vanish. It seems to have been wiped off the face of the earth. I mean, have you ever gone to New York City? It's a massive, bustling metropolis, home to over 8 million people. But have you ever stopped to think about how long it took for the city to reach its current size? Well, it turns out that New York City grew at a faster rate than the Indus Valley civilization did. Even at its peak, the Indus Valley civilization never had more than 5 million people. And that was after hundreds of years of growth. And yet today, millions of people live in New York City, even though it was only founded in 1624. And that raises another strange question. Why did the Indus Valley civilization stop growing? You see, in order for a society to grow, you need two things: food and space. The Indus Valley people had plenty of both. Their cities were located in a fertile region of the world, and they had impressive systems for distributing food and water. So why did they stop growing? Well, it turns out that the Indus Valley civilization didn't just stop growing, it actually started shrinking. And that's not the only piece of evidence that something strange was going on. You see, the Indus Valley civilization didn't just stop growing, it also started changing. Over time, the cities became smaller and the buildings less impressive. The writing on seals and pottery also changed, suggesting a break in continuity. And that's not the only evidence of a break in continuity. You see, the Indus Valley civilization didn't just stop growing and changing, it actually came to an abrupt end. And by abrupt, I mean sudden and unexpected. It turns out that the Indus Valley civilization was abruptly ended by a catastrophic event that devastated the region around. 1900 BCE, and that raises another strange question. What was this catastrophic event? Well, it turns out that this catastrophic event was not one single event, but rather a series of events that may have been related to climate change. You see, the Indus Valley civilization flourished during a period known as the Holocene Optimum, a time when the Earth experienced a period of unusually warm climate. This allowed for the development of agriculture and the growth of human settlements. But around 1900 BCE, the Holocene Optimum came to an end, and the Earth entered a period of cooling known as the Little Ice Age. This would have had a devastating impact on the Indus Valley civilization, which relied on agriculture and a stable climate to thrive. But wait, there's more. It turns out that the Little Ice Age was not the only environmental disaster that the Indus Valley people faced. You see, around 1800 BCE, a severe drought struck the region, which would have made it difficult for the Indus Valley people to grow food and sustain their cities. But wait, there's still more. It turns out that the drought was not the only natural disaster that the Indus Valley people faced. You see, around 1900 BCE, a powerful earthquake struck the region, which would have caused widespread destruction and may have led to the collapse of the Indus Valley civilization. However, theories about climate change and natural disasters aren't the only ones out there. Some experts believe that the Indus Valley civilization was destroyed by invaders from Central Asia, while others believe that it was the result of a gradual decline due to factors such as overpopulation and deforestation. Still others believe that the Indus Valley civilization wasn't destroyed at all, but simply moved away from the area around 1900 BCE. They point to the fact that the cities of the Indus Valley were abandoned relatively quickly, and that there is evidence of a mass migration of people from the region. But here's the thing, we don't know for sure what happened to the Indus Valley civilization. The truth is that the Indus Valley is one of the greatest mysteries of human history, and there is no shortage of theories about what happened to it. Unfortunately, the truth is that we may never know for sure what happened to the Indus Valley civilization. The reality is that their cities were destroyed so thoroughly that there is little evidence of their existence. And the fact that their writing system has not yet been deciphered means that we cannot be sure what their religion was, or even if they had one. All we really know is that they were highly skilled engineers and urban planners who built some of the most impressive cities in the ancient world. But then something happened, perhaps a series of unfortunate events. Maybe climate change, an earthquake, a drought, or maybe a combination of all three. Whatever the cause, the Indus Valley civilization was destroyed, and the people who lived there vanished without a trace. So what do you think happened to the Indus Valley? Let me know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, please go ahead and like it. If you want to learn more about the Indus Valley, I've included a number of resources for further reading. Thanks for watching.